Hello, I'm Morris Dimba and welcome to this part 2 of how to create a tapered portal frame in Tekla structures, and let's get started right away. If you take a look on the screen, you can be able to see where we were on our previous presentation. This is where we are, and now we want to start bracing our rafters and also placing purlins and purlins for side clad. We'll go straight away and get started right here. First of all, we start by placing purlins at the roof level. I'll go straight to view because I want just to reorient my XYZ plane to take the slope of the rafters. I'll go straight to view and come to work plane tool here. I'll click this drop down arrow to access all these options. I'll go to work plane tool, then I'll mouse over this member. So the moment you see the XYZ plane taking the slope of the rafter, I'll just click right there and right click to go to interrupt to exit that work plane tool command. Now I'll go to review, navigate and then rotate with mouse. And I want to rotate this just to check whether the XYZ plane has aligned itself with the slope of my rafters. There it is. It has aligned itself. Now I want to start placing my purlins. Now I'll zoom at this spot. I want to snap at the center of this and snap at the center of that after invoking the purlin command or a beam command that will help us in selecting the appropriate size and appropriate profile for our purlins. Now I'll go straight to steel here, then come to beam, then I'll pick on beam, then zoom out and snap right here. I'll snap at the midpoint right here, then zoom out and go all the way to the other end and snap right there, right here. Let me just snap right there perfectly. Then I'll right click to exit that. Once I'm done with that, let me just turn this around so that I check how this is positioning itself with our rafters. There it is. That's taking the best slope or the best orientation. Now I'll just double click on it just to make it move slightly inward. Now I'll come to position here and pick on plane. I'll give it a left move right there. After doing that, I'll go straight to apply and accept that. And prior to accepting that, I want to change this profile. I want to give it a Z profile. Now I'll come back to attributes here and click on this select and and attributes and adjacent to the profile. The moment I click this, I'll be taken straight to profile catalog where I'll be able to pick on the appropriate profile and size. We'll give it time to load. And there we are. We'll go straight to, we'll minimize this. We'll use that on the side clad. Then we'll go straight down here or on the same part, but we'll go straight to Z sections and I'll pick on the 177 or 140 by 20. I'll go straight and apply and accept that, then go all the way here and I'll click modify, apply. Still is the same thing but in a smaller size, but we need a Z profile. I'll go back and click on profile select, which will take me back to profile catalog to pick on another type of profile. I'll pick on this. Let me check on that. We can see the preview is here, and we'll go straight ahead and click apply and give it a modification acceptance here by clicking modify, then apply it, then give it a node here by clicking OK. Now if you take a look, it's very close to our eave, and we want to give it a small offset, just a little bit offset of maybe 300 right there. And let me just do that. Click on the member, right click and come to a move, click linear. Then prior to invoking that command of move command, we'll check the direction of XYZ axis. We see we are on the X axis, and now we want to move it along the X axis. Now along the X axis here, under this dialog box, we'll feed 300 right here. Then click move. There we are. It has moved a little bit further. We'll just give it 200, will be okay. Just give it 200 right there and click move. That's okay. Right click and click interrupt. Once we are done with that, now we want to populate this along these two rafters, taking into account the direction of the X axis. Now I'll click on this member, then right click and come to special copy right here, and I'll click linear. Then on the same axis, X axis, I'll come back to X axis, and I want to populate this with an interval along the rafter with an interval of 1 meter center to center of the purlins. I'll just type 1 meter right here. Then how many do I want? I want 14 of these. I'll zoom out so that you see how this is populated all the way to the pitch of our rafter. Now I'll go straight and click copy. You can see that it has been copied all the way to the pitch, closer to the pitch. And also I'll go straight here and just add one, but not at a meter. Now I'll click on that, then right click and come to special copy and come to linear. Then I'll wait for it to load so that I can invoke that copy command. Now instead of 1 meter, I'll just give it 500 or 600 right there. Then I'll change the number required to 1. Then I'll go straight away and click OK. I'll go ahead and click OK right there after clicking copy. Then the key thing you should never forget is saving your work. Every step you've made, save, so that you don't go back and forth in case of power flicker out, power taking off away from you. Now I want to also place purlins for side clad, which will take us back to this bottom end here, this end. I'll come back to steel here, then come to beam, pick on that. Then prior to doing that, I'll exit that command, and I'll go straight to view, just to take back my XYZ plane to a global position, I mean the default position. There we are. I'll right click and exit that work plane tool command. Now I'll come back to steel here and come to beam and start laying my side clad purlins. Now I'll use this as my datum. Then I'll go stretch all the way to, I'm using centers so that when I start populating this, I'll be able to place my clit so that it will be able to hold this purlin and that purlin. We'll be able to hold the purlin and both purlins with our clit sitting right at the center of both. Now I'll snap right here. I'll snap right here. There we are, and I'll double click on this. Once I've double clicked on this, I'll come to position here and rotate this. I'll rotate this to back. Perfect. And I'll give it an offset. I'll change this to left position. Perfect. I'll come to apply. I'll come all the way to navigate and rotate this using a mouse by pressing my left button on the mouse and hold so that you can move that comfortably. You can also press Control while holding your middle button on the mouse, whichever way work best. But I am finding this, accessing this very easy. Now, having done that, I want to change this profile. I'll come back to Attributes and come to Select under Profile. And I'll wait for the profile catalog to load so that I can pick another profile. Now, here we are, and I'll go straight to C sections here under Steel Sections Limited. Now, I'll go to C sections. I'll pick on side rails, then pick on this. I'll click Apply and accept that, and accept the modification here. But before I proceed, I want to rotate this to sit in an appropriate position. I'll come to Position and click Back. Not back, and give it a below position. That's not right. I'll give it Front. Try another Top. Perfect. I want it to be in that position. Then I'll go straight and change the depth to behind right there. I want it to be in that position. Then I'll go straight and click Apply and accept. And on the same position, I want to shift it slightly by 100. I'll come to Special Move, then click Linear. Then prior to invoking any command, I'll check the position and the direction of the appropriate XYZ axis. Now I'll be working with the Z axis, but we'll be moving on the opposite direction of the axis. So the dimension that I'll be feeding here will be prefixed with the negative sign. So we want to offset this by 100, so we'll have to prefix this 100 millimeter by a negative sign because we are moving the opposite direction of the Z axis. I'll go straight and click Move, which is not the best. We did not feed that dimension on the X axis. Instead, we fed it on the X axis. We'll click Undo, then change that to 0, then prefix our 100 millimeter by 100 millimeter. We'll prefix our 100 millimeter with the negative sign, then click Move. It will move downward by 100 millimeter. Now on the same position, we want to populate this all the way to the bottom end. But how many do we need? We need close to 8 of them. I'll go straight and click Linear. Then on the Z axis, once again, I want to populate these at a distance of 1 meter, and then we need 7 of these. Go straight and click Copy, and there we are. We have 7 of them copied down here, and don't forget to save your work. Now we will turn this round. We'll turn this round so that we check how these purlins have been arranged. All the way from the eave to the bottom end of our columns. There we are. It's much better. Now the next thing we are going to do, we want to brace our rafters, and also we'll brace our columns here. Now to do that, we'll come straight here to, first of all, let's reinforce our purlins by using anti-sag rod. Just come here and type sag and pick sag rod or S54. I'll pick on that. Then I want to reinforce all these purlins just to avoid to increase their rigidity. Let me just click on every purlin. There we are. And once you've selected every purlin, or all the purlins, press your middle button on the mouse just to invoke the tie rod. It also prevents your purlins from wobbling. Now let me just come to Navigate under View and turn this round. Remember, you can also adjust the settings of these by going straight and double click on it. you'll be prompted with this window here, and from this window you'll be able to adjust your settings. I'll come to parameters here, and I want to shift this slightly close to the edge of this purlin. I'll come straight to distance from below purlin, and I will feed 50 millimeter right here, and I'll click modify. You'll see that moving slightly below, close to the center of the purlins. I'll prefer it to be there. I'll go straight and click apply. I click modify and apply, and give it an acceptance there by clicking an OK button. Then let me just turn this round. We've created that, and also we want to do the same on the side clad purlins here. We'll come back and do the same thing by selecting the purlins that we intend to brace or tie together using a anti-sag rod. I'll press my middle button on the mouse, but if you take a keen look, you'll be able to see our tie rods are slightly off the point, and they're slightly bigger, and we can double click on that and reduce the size of our tie rod. We'll come back to parts here, and we can come to sag rod. We'll click on that radio button right there, and this will take us straight to a profile catalog, and from here we'll be able to select on the appropriate size and the profile of our tie rod. We'll come right at the bottom end here and look for circular sections. Circular sections here. Once we've picked on that, we'll just pick on the rod right here, and we'll be able to change the size here. We can give it 16. Give it 16, and just delete that and change that to 16, and apply and give it an OK right there, and come all the way and click modify. Slightly small, and still okay. I can give it 18 is okay, or 20 will be okay. Then modify. Once you've done that, you can also slightly shift them slightly to the center of the purlin. I'll come straight to parameters here and feed here 60 right here, and I'll click modify. Instead of that, we can reduce that to 30. There you are, and click apply and accept. We can do the same thing here by changing the size of this by double clicking on it, and we'll come all the way here and change this to D16. Just type D20 and click modify, apply and accept. Now we'll go straight here and apply, and save what we've just done or what we've just modified. I'll close this, and prior to closing that, I'm just on my way to applications and components. There's another macro we want to use. Now we'll go straight to bracing. We want to brace our rafters. Now I'll come here straight and type bracing, and prior to finishing finishing the complete words of the macro that I intend to use, the system will predict and present me with variety of macro that I might be interested, that are starting with the same words. Now instead of completing what I was writing, I just click on this box, then scroll down and try to look if these macros that have been given to me or presented to me, one of my choice is among them. I just scroll down here, and fortunately it is here. Tensioner brace and compression bar is here, numerically known as number 13. Also you can just type 13 here, and it will come singly. Now I'll click on it or double click on it just to access its window, and I'll be able to feed my preferred dimensions right there. Now here is the window, and from here you can feed your preferred dimension or customize how you want your bracing to look or to appear or to reinforce your rafter. Now fortunately enough, I've already done those and I've made my settings. So I want to be going for back and forth, feeding the same information, while I can use the same settings that I use on previous structures, and I'll apply them here. Now I named it braces, and also you can do that. You can, once you've braced any member and you feel that is, and you feel you'll be using such bracings oftenly, what you can do, just give it a name here, click save as, then load your setting, then click modify. It will be saved inside here. So whenever you intend to use a similar bracing, it will be a very simple work to do. Just go ahead and pick it from where you saved it and apply it to where appropriate. Now I'll go straight and click load, and this is what I'm going to use. I'll go straight and click modify, and also I can share this with you by going button tab to tab. Under picture tab, you can see what I used here, and under parts you can see how you can see the arrangement of my bracings. You can change the profile of it, or the profile and the size of your bracing by clicking these radio buttons. These four. This will take you straight to profile catalog, and you'll be able to pick on the appropriate size and type of steel. I'll come to compression bar. Under this, I didn't want to use a compression bar, so I disabled this. I gave them no options. And joints, I didn't want any joint because I have my own preferred connection. Joint direction, just leave it at auto. Then I'll come back straight here and click apply, modify, apply, and accept. Now once I've done that, I'll go straight to pick. I'm seeing this anti-sag rod already in selection, and I don't want that to be involved in bracing. Now I'll come to this part and click on it. Let me just turn that. I'll double click on this, then mouse over this member and click on it, then come all the way here and click on that spot and wait for the bracings to. Let me just zoom out to check whether the bracings are in place. The bracings are not in place. Reason being that we never used our default. Now I'll go straight and delete it, or just leave it in the same position and double click and load our settings on this bracing. You can see it picked a default setting. Now what we'll do, we'll go straight and click brace and click load. Once we've done that, we'll go straight and click modify, and you'll see everything taking the appropriate direction. This is what we wanted to be to be created as a bracing for our rafters. Now I want to give an offset upward. Now I'll come all the way here and click. I'll come all the way here. I'll come all the way down here and disable the assembly first, and come to view, come to work plane tool, and place my XYZ plane here. I place my XYZ plane there because I want to populate this. I want to move this on this direction to also brace the upper side of this rafter. Now I'll go straight and select everything here while pressing Control button and select that. I'll right click here and go straight to copy spatial and click linear. Then prior to invoking a copy command, check first of all the direction of XYZ plane. Our X is facing downward, so any dimension that we will be feeding on the X axis, on the X plane, on the X plane, and the XYZ plane will be prefixed by a negative sign, and we just need one of this. We'll change the axis to 0, then we'll go straight to X axis, and we'll prefix this with we just need 3 of this. Yes, 3 meters. We'll see where it lands. We'll go straight and click copy end is much closer to this end. What we'll do, we'll just click undo and change this to 4 meters and click OK. Still close, but not bad. Still close. We'll click undo and come to 4.2, which will be okay, or 4.1, and that will be much okay. I'll click a copy and give it a node by pressing copy. Now I'll come here once again and click on this and select that, right click and go straight to copy and give it a linear move, then I'll copy that at a distance of 2050 and click copy. There we are. That's copied, and I'll give it an OK right there, and right click and click interrupt, and do a similar thing here. I'll select everything here and I'll go straight and right click and come to copy special and click linear. Then on the right direction will not prefix our dimension with a negative sign. We'll just leave it in positive direction. Then I'll click copy backward and we'll go straight and click OK. Don't forget to save your work. Come here and click save. Then once we are done with that, we'll go straight to brace. We'll go straight to brace. Then scroll down, not brace, just type this bolted gusset. Then we'll pick on that. Once you've done that, we want just to connect this. Click on that and press your middle button on the mouse so that a connection can be created there. But to double click on that, and this will be prompted with this. The reason why you are prompted with this is because we disabled the assembly. Let me just bring back the assembly, and I'll double click once again here so that I can change this type of connection. Let's wait for it to load properly. Now I'll close this. I'll come all the way and close this one. Then scroll out, zoom in and come to the gusset here. I can change that gusset thickness to 12 millimeter. Then come all the way to the brace bolt 1, and I want to change the bolt size. Go straight there and change the standard bolting, and I will need also some washers. Right there, I go straight and click apply to see if the changes are taking effect. They're taking effect on this direction. I just need one bolt right there and click modify. Let's see if if everything's changing. There we are. Everything has changed, and we'll go straight and apply the same thing. 8.88 XOX and click yes, and come here and give a washer. On this side you just need a bolt, click apply. And also on the brace bolt 3 we just need a bolt here, one bolt, and we'll go straight and click on the mouse and see if a connection will be created right there. We haven't seen connection created because we are on the assembly. Now what we'll do, we'll just click undo, click on empty screen, and disable the assembly by clicking this button. Then come back to gusset plate bolted. We'll click on this and that, then press our middle button on the mouse to create a connection right there. We'll connect all this, connect that, this and that. A connection will be created right there, and I will connect even this also, that, this and that. Connection created, and this one also will connect that and that. Connection hasn't been created properly, reason being they are very close. So we'll leave that and we'll come back to it later on. That also not accepting, reason being it's very close. Just delete it. I'll right click and come to, just click on empty screen, right click and click redraw. Go straight here and click send. Click on that. Then we want to connect this one, that one, this and that. Press maybe your middle button on the mouse to connect that. And the plate used is so big. What we'll do now, we'll just double click on this to change the size of this plate. We'll come here and activate the assembly. Double click on this central connection plate, central gasket plate, and change the settings here. We'll come to bolt 1, and we just need M16 and 8.x XOX, and give a washer there. We just need a bolt on this end, just one bolt. I mean, 2 are okay. Then go click and click modify. Go ahead and click modify, or we can just give them the 3 bolts, which is okay. It's not accepting, and we'll just go straight and undo and do that and leave it on default setting. I'll right click and come straight to redraw that, remove that sign of active macro, and we'll go straight and apply it here, this and that. I press the middle button on the mouse and try to change this whole set. Double click on that. We'll come to brace bolt 1 and change these to, just need 2 right here, and try if it will accept this time round. It's not accepting. We'll undo that and click OK. Now let's just continue our connection here and enable that, this, that, and connect. It hasn't connected, and I'll undo, and we'll come back to that later on. Now, having done that, what we'll do, we'll just come to plan view and select everything here. Once you've selected everything, we'll switch back to isometric view. Then press Control and deselect the grid. Once you've done that, we want to change the position of our XYZ plane. We'll come to view here and come to work plane tool here and place our work plane tool right here. Place our work plane tool right here. I'll right click and come to interrupt, right click once again and come to special copy, then come to mirror. Then I want to use this apex joint as my mirror line. I'll snap right at the center there, then move all the way to the bottom end right here. Bottom end right here. Just zoom close to make sure I'm snapping on the right position. Snap right there and click copy. Then give it an acceptance by clicking OK. Then zoom out to check whether what I've just done is perfectly reflected on the other end. I'll right click and click redraw, and actually everything has been done and has been copied on the opposite direction, and the connection should not be a very big thing to worry about. I'll come back and show you how to rectify that. I'll come to navigate and turn this around and check how this has been done. It's perfect, and we want to populate all these to other parts. To do that, just switch back to plan view so that you make your selection easy. We'll switch back to work plane tool and we'll just select everything along this and press Control and disable and deselect the grid and switch back to isometric view, and also on the same position you can just maintain your plan view and right click and come to copy and pick it from this spot. Pick it from this point. You want to copy it from that point and take it to that point. You copy it there, copy it right there. Just give it time to copy everything, and we want to copy another one here. We want to copy another, we want to place another copy right there. Just give it time to finish copying. Just zoom out and place another copy here. Just giving time to finish copying, and we'll place another one here right there. Just give it time to complete the copying. Then we'll go all the way and start another one. Start all the way from this end and place a copy right there. And go all the way and place a copy right there. Come all the way and do the same thing here. Again, come all the way and finish up right here. And finish up right here. There we are done with that. We'll right click and come to interrupt and click on empty screen. Then we'll come all the way to here. You can also see how you can see the top arrangement, how it looks like. We can right click and come to redraw, just remove any sign of active macro. There we are. You can see that. You can see that. And now I'll switch to 3D plane or 3D isometric view. Then I'll come to navigate and click on that, turn that round, and this is what we're having now. This is what we have now, though we've not placed cleats. And we're moving step by step till you get this concept completely. You can see this. Don't forget to save your work, and you'll come all the way here and rotate this using mouse, or press Control button while holding your middle button on the mouse, and you'll be able to turn around after picking a rotation point. You can see this already created perfectly. I just turn it around so that you have a clear look of this. You can check the apex connection here. Remember, this was created manually. We never used any macro to create this portal frame. Just take a look at that. Perfect. And now on the next presentation, we'll be working on the gable side, on these two gable side, this side and that side. And also we'll be coming back and start working properly on the connection of bracings at the rafter. Thanks a lot for watching this video. I'm Maurice Dimba, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you're new to this channel, and bye bye.